Most people don't actually fear failure. They fear looking like a failure. They don't want to be judged. They don't want to feel embarrassed. They don't want people to think that they weren't good enough. And because of that fear, they stay stuck. They don't start the business. They don't post the thing. They don't go after the opportunity. Meanwhile, the people who actually succeed, they don't think like that at all. They see failure differently. They use it differently. And in the next 7 minutes, I'm going to reprogram your mindset so that you can stop caring what people think and start winning. Let's go. Let's start with the first brutal truth. Nobody actually cares as much as you think they do. I know it feels like everyone is watching and waiting for you to fail and judging your every move, but that's just your brain playing tricks on you. It's something called the spotlight effect, and it has been proven by research. A Harvard study found that we massively overestimate how much people actually notice us. In this study, participants had to wear an embarrassing t-shirt, and then they had to guess how many people noticed. And just as a side note, the t-shirt had a giant photograph of Barry Manilow on it, and I'm not actually sure what's embarrassing about that. I love Manilow, but anyway, back to the study. So the participants predicted that approximately 50% of their peers would notice the t-shirt, but in reality, only about 23% did, a discrepancy of more than double. That's your fear of failure in a nutshell. You think everyone is watching, but in reality, most people are just too busy worrying about themselves. And the ones who do judge, that's their issue, not yours. Because let's be honest, no one who is actually out there building something, chasing their dreams, and taking risks is sitting around nitpicking what you are doing. So if you have been holding back, if you've been afraid to take a risk because of what people might think, ask yourself, who am I actually afraid of? And do they even matter? So this is truth number one. Nobody actually cares. Now, maybe you're thinking, okay, fine, but what if I do fail? That brings me to the next point, why failure isn't the enemy. So let me ask you something. If you run an experiment and get an unexpected result, does that mean that the experiment failed? No, it means you got data. But most people take failure personally. They think if I fail, that means I'm a failure. They internalize it. They make it part of their identity, and that's the fastest way to stay stuck. But look at the numbers. Research shows that entrepreneurs who fail the first time are actually more likely to succeed the second time if they try again. Why? Because they learn. They don't waste time crying about how unfair life is or how embarrassed they feel. They study what happened, they tweak, they adjust, and they move forward. The best in the world, athletes, CEOs, creators, they don't avoid failure, they study it. Think about Thomas Edison. He didn't say, I failed 10,000 times. He said, I found 10,000 ways that didn't work. Imagine if he had stopped at attempt number 500. Imagine if he had thought, wow, I am embarrassing myself. People are gonna think I'm an idiot. No light bulb, no innovation, no legacy. Your failures aren't proof that you should stop. They're proof that you're in the game. So truth number two is this. Failure is just data. Now, speaking of the bigger picture, let's zoom out because what feels massive today probably won't even matter a few years from now. Think back to something that you failed at 5 years ago. Does it still haunt you? Does it still feel massive? Probably not. In fact, you might even laugh at how big of a deal it felt back then. There's actual science behind this. Studies on effective forecasting show that we are just terrible at predicting how we'll feel in the future. We assume that failure will haunt us forever, but in reality, it fades. 5 years from now, will this thing you're scared of even matter? If the answer is no, then stop letting it control you. So this is truth number three, play the long game. Now maybe you're thinking, okay, but what if I still feel stuck? Then let's shift perspectives because this next trick, it will snap you out of fear instantly. Imagine you're 80 years old, looking back on your life. Would you regret trying and failing or never trying at all? Psychologist Daniel Kahneman's research on loss aversion proves that we fear loss much more than we desire gain. That's why people stay stuck. They're more afraid of losing pride than gaining success. But the truth is, the biggest loss is doing nothing. Every time you hesitate, ask yourself, what would my future self tell me to do? Because that version of you, the one who actually made it, they are looking back at you right now, hoping you just go for it. So this is truth number four, future you doesn't care. Now, once you make that big decision, there is one final piece. You have to start acting like you belong. Most people think that confidence is something that you need to have before you take action, but that's backwards. Studies show that confidence comes from action. The more you do something, the more competent you become and the more confident you feel. It's called the competence-confidence loop. The people who succeed aren't the ones who felt ready. They are the ones who showed up before they felt ready. So here's the shift. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting to feel confident. Just act like you belong, because confidence isn't given, it's built, and you don't need to wait. You can start right now. If you're still here, thank you. Most people click away before the halfway point, but you stayed, and that tells me that you are not just consuming content, you're actually serious about changing your life, and I respect that. We live in a world that is noisy and distracted and full of quick fixes, but the real shifts, the ones that actually last, they come from showing up and paying attention and making small changes consistently, and that's what you're doing right now, and it matters. Here's something that I have been thinking about recently. Most people don't need more information. They need a reset. They're stuck in cycles of stress and distraction and overthinking, not because they're lazy or unmotivated, but because they have been pulled so far out of alignment that they just can't even hear themselves think. And if that sounds like you, you're not broken, but you do need a better system. That's why I created a free 5-day challenge called The Reset. It's designed to help you to clear mental clutter and reset your energy and get back to the version of you who actually feels in control. Each day I'll send you one short, actionable email. No fluff, no busy work, just the exact strategies that I use to refocus, recharge, and rebuild momentum. You'll also get a printable tracker, a few tools that I only share with my inner circle, and a couple of bonuses that I think that you'll love. This isn't about being perfect or getting everything right. It's about learning how to course correct faster and build a life that actually works for you. So if you are done feeling scattered and ready to get back on track, then join me. The link is right below this video. If you're serious about changing how you think and taking action, I've got something that will help. It's my free guide called Change Your Mindset, Change Your Life. Inside, I share the exact mindset shifts that can help you to stop overthinking, silence fear, and finally move forward, no matter how big the goal. If you're ready to start thinking like the person who succeeds instead of the one who gets stuck, then grab it for free. Just click the link in the description below. Because the fastest way to crush fear is to take action, and this guide will show you exactly where to start. So here is my final challenge for you. Take action right now. What is one thing that you have been avoiding because of fear? Send the email, make the call, post the video, apply for the thing. Because the truth is, success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about being the person who keeps going no matter what. And that's you. Now go make it happen. If you enjoyed this video, I think that you are going to love the one that I've got queued up for you next, which is about the 12 things that I gave up for a happier life. I think you will be surprised by what's on my list. I'll see you there. By the way, did you notice my silver play button? Yeah. Okay, done.